Hello everyone, Carolina Elevators&EAS back again, and I'm joined with
Putnam County WX.
And today we're going to be doing finally another updated weather radio collection video. The last one I did was about a year ago now, and the collection has grown even more. We've got a new shelf here, so we have a lot to get to today. There's also a lot of radios that I went through in 2025 that I no longer own. So at the end of the video, we'll also go over those radios too. So without further ado, no more yapping. We're going to just get straight into this video. So we're going to start here at the back of my room. Well, actually, no, we're going to start at the computer first. So we're going to start here with one of three Midland WR120EZs.
Saturday.
I used to have a DSP right here, but I gave that to one of my friends because I had two of them. Alert test this guy. There you go. This is like one of my first 120s EZs, I believe. And then right here on top of my computer, we have my Sangean HDR15. This is a HD alert radio. It does not have weather band. It is just HD alert only. I'm still going to count this as a weather alert radio, though, because it technically has weather alert just via HD. My local HD station is 1027 WGNI. It has alert. It's gone off for a couple test alerts lately. I haven't recorded them or nothing, but if there's any severe weather in the area, this will go off for a weather alert, and that will be recorded. So can't wait to get some weather alerts on this. It's a pretty nice little radio. So yeah, those are the two radios by the computer. Now we'll get to the back of my room. So we're going to start off with this little corner table that I kind of assembled here a while back, where I've got a few radios here. So we're going to start off right here with my I Love IMM 183. This is a white screen version. I know there's dark screen versions out there. This thing is a behemoth, by the way. This thing is like really, really loud. Here, we'll do a siren test. That thing is a monster. These speakers, by the way, are just amazing. It's probably some of the best speaker quality of any radio I have. Though the I Love's reception is a little picky because it does not have an actual antenna. It just uses an external antenna, which is just like a wire antenna. So it's a little annoying that way, but it's still a good radio nonetheless. And you can charge your old iPod with it if you like. The ports are right there, covered up by this, which is my Midland WR11.
Seas 2 to 4 feet.
Which, by the way, is making a horrendous buzzing noise because the adapter has a problem where it makes the radio buzz. Anyways, these things are kind of wonky. I moved it back here. It used to be on my main shelf, but I moved it because it was causing interference with other radios around it, which is a big problem with WR11s. And that's probably why I wouldn't recommend them too much, but they have a cool siren. That's like the reason half people even get this thing. Oh well, it's still okay, but not the best radio out there. And then right here we have my Jensen JEP 250.
Afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet.
This thing's kind of cool. I kind of wish it had a built-in rechargeable battery, though, because it looks like a radio that would have a built-in rechargeable battery, but it doesn't. It has this like little handle thing, which is kind of cool. It has a pretty cool siren, too, but I can't siren test this one. And then over here, I've got a couple radios charging. You'll notice my ERs are sitting here, but when there's severe weather, I move my ER radios over there. But this is where they sit to charge, so I'm going to show you where they're at when they charge. So this is my Midland ER300. This is not an ER310. This is an ER300. I will prove it to you by showing you the back. If I can get that in the picture. You can barely see that, but that does say ER300. Wow, you can barely see it back here. It's kind of dark back here. I apologize. This is just the predecessor to the ER310, pretty much. The same thing. Speaking of which, here's the ER310 right here. Very good radios. The ER310 is probably the best ER radio in my opinion. It's got the most features, and it's just really nice to have as an emergency radio. There's other options as well. There's other good ER radios, but in my opinion, the 310 is the best. I know Midland recently came out with the ER310 Pro. I do not plan on getting one of those, by the way. I'm not very interested in them. I think the 310 regular is better. So, anyways, right here we have my Midland HH54 VP version 15's charging right here.
5 feet at 5 seconds and north 1.
This one's got some wear and tear on it because I've taken this thing quite a couple places, so that's the reason why the antenna is taped. But it still works okay. Not a bad radio. However, I prefer other handhelds over it. Anyways, now we're going to go over here to the back dresser, and we're going to start over here on the wall with this brand new weather radio that came out in fall of 2025. This is the Dissipur WR321, and it is interesting to say the least. It has an alert light, which is pretty cool. But the speaker is in a very weird spot. It has a very weird design. I don't know why the lights are like this. Like the watch light, it's smaller than the other ones. It's kind of a weird design. But this is still a cool radio. Here, we'll siren test it. These are extremely loud, by the way. Ah, man, that's loud. And also,
20 to 25.
the alert light flashed. These things are just weird. I don't know if I'd recommend them very much. For $45 anyway, I don't know if I recommend these because they're just really loud. If you have a small collection, please don't get this. It will overpower every other radio because of how loud it is. It is a first header, which is cool, but if you have a smaller collection, make sure you tape the speaker because it's loud. Just warning you. Anyways, now we're going to go over to the stressor. So we're going to start right here with my Optimus CR307.
To southwest 25 to 35 knots.
This thing is okay, not too bad. Has it's one of those, like, it's basically just a 90s alarm clock with a weather radio in it. It's honestly not too bad, though. The reception's not bad either. It's not the worst out there. I mean, if you like one, if you like old alarm clocks and like weather radios, this is basically both of that into one. So if you'd like to get one, go ahead. And then right here we have my Max Digital CR01NW as the model number of it. This one has a defect though. As you can see, the warning and watch lights are always on, which is something that's messed up with it. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's just a factory defect. I have this connected to one of my silent call lights. There's the siren test as well. Pretty cool siren. I like this radio. The lights kind of bother me a little bit, but the radio still works, so I'm not going to give it up. And then over here we have these old Radio Shacks. So this is my Radio Shack 12247B.
25 knots. Feet.
We'll do an alert test on this. You have to hold it down for a few seconds to do this one. There you go. This one's got a bit of speaker syndrome to it. And then this is my regular Radio Shack 12-247.
The next 4 times at Wrightsville Beach will be.
This one's got better speaker quality. Siren test on this one's instantaneous.
10, 20.
There you go. And then right here is the Radio Shack 12-240.
The beach water temperature. 64.
Basically a 247, but older, and it's only 3 channels. So if you can't get channels 2, 3, 5, or 6, don't get it, because you will not be able to pick it up. But if you can get 1, 4, or 7, you can get one. Here is the Emerson EWR 850.
Pressure was 30.05.
Picks up a little bit of an interference noise or whatever, but the radio's still not bad. It's got that siren, just like the Optimus. And here is the First Alert WX27.
The latest
More of that interference sound. These two radios pick that up for some reason. Yeah, these both have the same siren, same kind of design. Personally, I like the First Alerts look cool, much better. But they're both okay radios. Not much too special about them, though. And then here we kind of have the Radio Shack corner, if you will, because all of these radios are kind of the same thing when it comes to sounds anyway. Right here we have my Radio Shack 12-262. This is a 2006 model. This is my second 262. I used to have a 2008 262, and it worked for quite a while, but after about like 6 months or something, it stopped activating, and then it just full on died, so rip to it. I then got this one to replace it. Unfortunately, this one also had an issue where the timer thing was being frozen, and I actually made a short on my channel about that at one point because I didn't know I wondered if there was a fix. Well, I kind of fixed it by dropping the radio. Not kidding. I just dropped the radio on purpose, and it literally fixed it.
Be clear. Lows.
Nah, that jump scared me. But yeah, pretty much that's what happened, and it's working now, so that's good. Yeah, you're fine. Right here is the Radio Shack 12-521.
East. Southwest wind.
Look out of the first headers.
Yep, pretty much. This is a B model, by the way, so this is technically 12-00521. It's a very good radio. I get a lot of nostalgia from the 521 because I had one when I was like 7 years old. That died after a week. But this is a nice radio either way. If you can get a working 521, like a B model, get it, because they're actually pretty dang good. And this one works really well, of course.
Winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Good tuner. And then over here, we have my Radio Shack 12-382, which is a 2007 model.
Is northwest winds 5.
Very good radio here. All these radios have that same siren, by the way. Oh yeah, one cool feature about the 382 that I love. Let me just show you this.
Highs or chance of rain 50%.
Oh, hi KEC84.
Thursday, 3 p.m.
Hi KXI95. Look, fading lights. That is the best feature. Fading lights. I love that so much. Yeah, there's some Tropo going on right now. We were getting some other channels. Right here is my Radio Shack 12-261. This is a 2004 model.
Miles. Issued at 5:23 p.m.
Very good radio. The tuners do not die on any 261, which is why I would recommend them if you want a Radio Shack radio that has that type of alert tone. I used to have a 2003 261 that I no longer own. We'll get to that a lot later. That's going to be towards the end of the video. Right here is my Discovery Channel BD4772. Listen to that siren. This thing is on something. So this thing is weird. So this is, yes, a radio it's a radio by the Discovery Channel. I gotta say, this little globe thing looks pretty cool with the alert light right on that little satellite looking thing. That's kind of cool looking. However, it's a little wonky trying to use it. The alert tone's obviously really funny. It's actually really loud, and it goes off immediately on the 1050. The clock on this radio has a problem, and that's that it's actually a bit too fast. If I leave this thing alone for a few days, it'll be ahead by like 2 minutes, which is a little bit annoying because then I have to go reset it. Oh yeah, speaking of that, when I first got the radio, the screen wasn't on, and it took me a while to find out that the screen is powered by a button battery. So, yeah, kind of weird. I did not know that. That kind of had me worried when I first got this radio. Also, this radio was given to me by Landon's Techno Collectibles, so thank you to him for that. He gave me a lot of radios, by the way. A lot of rare stuff over there, like my Motorola MWR839, my WX500, my safety gear up there, a few others that I cannot remember. But thank you to him for all that, for sure. Thank you very much. So that's going to complete this section of the collection. We're done with the back. It's time to go to the main shelf, the main part of it. So we're going to start from the bottom. There's a lot of crank radios down here. We're going to start right here with my Radio Shack 12-260.
Seats 4 to 6 feet.
Cool little radio. This one is a 2005 model, so I think the tuner is going to be okay. It's a neat little radio. I mean, there's not much to it really, and they're not that loud. But hey, if you're a collector, might as well get it, right? This is a Solar Crank CR1009 right here. Very loud, by the way. You can hear this thing in my collection. It is very loud. There's no screen, which is a little weird. It's kind of funny. Everything's controlled by dials. It's like analog. There's no real screen. Yet this is still like one of the loudest radios I have. It's honestly a handy little thing, but not much else to it. And then right here we have my G-Storm G70W right here.
20 to 25 knots.
The reception down here is kind of bad, but it still goes off. This speaker on this thing is amazing. It has probably the best speaker quality of any emergency radio or crank radio that I have. It also has Bluetooth, so you can basically use this as a Bluetooth speaker, and it's only $35. It's honestly a really good radio. I would recommend one. It's really nice. And then right here is the Midland, the second of 3 Midland WR120 EZs. Yeah, the reception down here is not very good. And here's the third Midland WR120 EZ.
Midnight. Seas 2 to 4 feet.
So, we already alert tested the other one. This one right here is actually the first one that I had in the main collection. The antenna's half broken on it. Long story. Basically, I fell the antenna was in the way of my bed. I was like 11 years old at the time. Went to jump on my bed, and the antenna was like all the way extended. It was in the way, and I went to jump on my bed, and I fell, and the antenna snapped in half. So that's great. Yeah, that was not fun. Anyways, well guys, it is me the next day because I forgot that these ER radios existed, so we're going to go over them now. So right here is my Midland ER50. I actually really like this radio a lot. It is a much cheaper option compared to the ER310. It is a very nice radio, actually. Has quite a lot of little features. It's a good radio, I think, for the price that it goes for. And you can actually probably find one cheaper on eBay if you look hard enough. So if you can find one for cheap, I would recommend one of these for sure. And then right here we have my Midland ER200. Just kind of like the 300 situation. This is like the earlier version of the 210. But the 200 and 210 are basically the same thing. Just the 200 is older. And then of course right there is my Midland ER210. The Midland ER210s are also very good as a cheaper option to the 310. They both, 50, 210, they kind of have the same features for the most part, though I think there might be some small differences. But the 210's another pretty good ER radio, but honestly, they're good as emergency radios. They get the job done. I would recommend an ER radio just in general. If you want a cheaper option, go for the 50 or the 210, or if you want to go a little more high gear, you can get with the 310. So let's move on. Now we're gonna.
Were you jumping on your bed?
I was 11, all right. Anyways, we're gonna start getting into the good stuff now. So the First Alert WX67. We're not doing the memes today. No memes. No memes. This radio is really weird. It just has really weird button beeps. Like, what the heck is that? There's a bunch of alerts in the alert history because I was self-activating it. This is also a first gen, I believe, because the way the text is, they're technically first gen. So this is apparently an uncommon version.
8 to 30 knots.
Has a bit of speaker syndrome, but I know that's common on these. And then right here is my Midland WR30.
Becoming west to southwest 25 to 35 knots.
This thing is basically the original Recom because it sounds exactly like a Recom. Basically, Recom copied the warning tone on this. Hold on, where's the alert test? There it is. This one's actually pretty loud. But I know the speakers on these tend to have problems, so if you get one of these, just beware the speaker might not be very good. Right here is my Recom R1650C right here, which is connected to my Recom RA1603 strobe light. There you go. Recoms are pretty neat. I like that the alert lights, that if you plug an alert light into it, it will flash for the entire alert, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, though, 1630s and 1650s, they're okay. However, there's probably better options if you're just a normal consumer. Right here, we have the overpriced, lovely Uniden WX100. These things are very overpriced.
5 knots. Feeds for...
They're pretty cool radios, though. Let's do an alert test here. That's just so lovely. Nothing like a WX100's alert tones, though, despite these being very overpriced. I paid like $145. So, yeah. Anyways, right here is my beloved Radio Shack 12-258.
39, giving a relative humidity of 86%.
Very cool weather radio. This one's got a good speaker, too. I love the display on this. The display on this is one of my favorites. Also, it has the ability to hook up to a PC. This radio has a PC software. I have the disc and everything for it, but I don't have a disk drive on my computer, so I can't get that running. I probably could get it running. Like, I could probably find a download somewhere, but I don't really feel like doing all that because I like where it is, so it's going to stay here. But one of my favorite Radio Shack radios. Right here is my Accurate 08510RX right here. This thing is pretty cool. It has the 60 hertz scroll across the screen. Let me try to demonstrate that. Look at that scroll. That's a cool scroll. It is very annoying to set this radio up though. That's the one thing. Because like you can't fast forward the scroll. The scroll rate, there's only 3 scroll rate settings, and this is the max scroll rate. It can literally go, it only goes slower than where I have it right now. So that's very stupid. But these are actually very loud, the siren on it. It's just a tone, but honestly, I kind of like it. I'm probably one of the few people that really likes this radio. So yeah, cool radio. Right here is my Midland WR120 DSP. Why are you getting no reception? Probably because I'm standing next to it. Usually that's why it just doesn't get reception. Alert test. Slower version of the Easy. I like the Easy better. But this is the second header, so that's cool. I used to have 2 DSPs, but like I said, I gave one to a friend. So this is my only DSP now. And right here is my Midland 74102.
Mostly cloudy.
Oh, man. That thing just sounds interesting. Yeah, very weird radio. It's basically a 3-channel version of the 109. I got that for Christmas this year. Or technically last year now. Anyways, here's my Midland 74109 right here.
Northwest winds.
I've had this one for a long time, since 2021. This one's been a long ways. Still working good, which is good. Right here is my Recom R1650A. Right here. That's the test beep, because the last thing it picked up was a weekly test. And if it picks up a test and you alert test it, it just does the test beep. So there you go. This radio loves picking up interference.
To Cape Fear, North Carolina.
That's something it loves doing. So if you're going to get one of these, make sure it's in an area that's not around any interference, because if it is, you're going to notice very quickly. So just beware. But otherwise, they're okay. Not the best. Right here is my Sharecom WRP50. Hey, look, it still says that the test expired.
To 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots.
There it is. These things, I got this off that Life Secure website or whatever a while back for like $60. This thing, it's got a big problem. It does not go off for SVRs or TORs because it has outdated alert codes. So if you get an SVR or a TOR, it will not go off for that. It only will go off for SVA, TOA, FFW, SMW, stuff like that. Which is a little stupid, but it is a first header, I guess, if whenever it does go off. So yeah, it's an interesting little radio, but not the best if you're a consumer. Don't get it, for sure. Do not go to that website and get this. Anyways, right here is my Honeywell RN507W.
In the morning. Thursday night.
Pretty cool radio. The tuner actually still works. I'm surprised. This tuner on this has been working for a long time. I got this radio from fellow Faraday 1056, so thank you to him for that. Right here, we have one of the new holy grails I managed to get. The First Alert SFA 1150. Kind of crazy to say this, but yeah. Let me do an alert test. Very cool radio. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it's engraved. WTVO engraving, which is kind of cool. That's a TV station in Rockford, Illinois. So, yeah, this is a very cool radio right here.
Seas 2 to 4 feet.
Very nice radio, actually. I really like it. It has a good speaker, too. Very nice radio. They are very, very rare, though. Very, very hard to come by. If you can get one, get it, but 99% of the time you're going to be out of luck. But hey, people have skill, so you might be able to. Right here we have the Jensen JEP 725. This is the knockoff of the 1150. This came like a decade after this. It is 1050 only. It does not have same. It has a different alert tone that I cannot test. I mean, you can actually get these still on Amazon, and they're fine, but It's just a knockoff. It's obviously not as good as this, but these are a lot easier to come by if you want a radio like that. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, that row's done. Now to the next row. Starting off with my Motorola MWR839. Now this is the rebrand, I guess, or older version of the Sangean CL100. And I actually like this version more than the CL100 for one main reason, that being the buttons are a lot better quality. They're also clickier. Listen to that click. Very nice. Now let's do a siren test here. Very, very cool. This is a very cool radio. Really love it. Love this type of radio. And here is the Sangean CL100 that I've had since 2020, and the antenna's broken, so that's great. And the buttons are unresponsive, which, that's the thing. The buttons on this are not as good as the 839s at all. That's something I've come to notice. Let me look at this. These buttons are just not responding to me. Hello? I'm trying to get to the siren test here. Here we go. Same thing as the other one. Same exact thing. But yeah, very good radios when the antenna's on it. They have very good reception. That's the best thing about them. Great reception, great speaker quality. I would get a Sangean CL100 if you can. They're very good radios. Just be very careful with the antenna. Right here we have my 300s. So this is my Midland WR300 version 1.
3 to 5 feet.
With the green statement light and the yellow watch light. Quite loud, actually. It's a nice radio. Honestly, these things are great. I love WR300s. They were very ahead of their time. This radio is from 2003, and it has the ability to add alerts, which means it will never become outdated. So, great weather radio. Honestly, any 300 is honestly a good radio. Right here is the Midland WR300 version 8.
Nautical miles offshore.
Wow, that's a bright backlight. I've had this one since the beginning of 2021, I believe. Very long time. This is the 300 I've had the most time. This is also connected to another one of my lights. I think another silent call. Yeah. And also the siren level thingy sounds like a test beep on 100 or 300. So that's cool. Yeah, the version 8's cool, but it has menu lag and stuff, and it sounds a bit different. The advisory tone's a lot different. I would probably get a version 4 or 5 if you can find one that has a good tuner. Get like a version 5 Deluxe. That's probably your best bet. But hey, if you want a version 8, you can always get that too. Version 1 too, but they're very rare. Anyways, right here, we have my Midland WR400.
Friday, northwest.
And believe it or not, this is not the 400 that you've known and loved since 2020. This is a replacement 400 because I accidentally overvolted my first one. Rest in peace. I had that thing for over 5 years. It had a very, very good run, but I unfortunately overvolted it. So, my mistake and at my expense. But thankfully, I got a replacement, so this one works just as good as the other one did. Very good radio, other than the reception's a little bit dookie. But other than that, it's a pretty nice radio. One of my favorite looking radios. There's a great look to it. I love the look. I love the lights and everything. Very nice radio. Right here is the Radio Shack 12-996, the famous touchscreen weather radio. Definitely another one of the best Radio Shacks there is.
High tide at 4.
It also has very good speaker quality. It's very comparable to the Sangean. Very good radio. If you can find one for a good deal, make sure to get it because these are very nice radios. They have one of my favorite displays. Right here is the Radio Shack 12-251.
The temperature was 43 degrees.
This thing is interesting. The display is only one character, so that's how you have to rely on setting it up and everything. But the setup's actually not as bad as I think people expect it to be. It's actually a very cool little radio here. I like the alert tone. Let me do an alert test here. Very cool. I'm going to have to set it up again because doing that factory resets it. But see, look, it's not that bad. All you got to do... Whoops, I did that wrong. I did that wrong. My bad. Let me try that again. Just select your channel. Confirm. Confirm again. And you're done. That's all you got to do.
Wave height 2 feet.
It's a very good radio, actually. I mean, it has good reception. You would think this would be a bad radio, but I wouldn't call it bad, honestly. Right here, we have my Radio Shack 12-250 that I've had since early 2021.
4 degrees. Hit right still beach.
It has a very bad speaker. It's always had a very bad speaker, for the broadcast anyway. Let me do an alert test, though, here. Yeah, this thing does not have the best speaker, unfortunately. But, I mean, it still works, so we're still going to use it. It's a 250. Very classic weather radio, and they're actually very reliable. I mean, I feel like you could have a 250 for 100 years and it would still work. Like, they just happen to just keep working. No matter how long they work. They just keep working. Right here, we have my Radio Shack 12-257. This thing is very interesting. There's no antenna cap because the antennas are just as fragile as an HH antenna. So they always come off. It came like this. And here's the most craziest thing about it. It has a vibrator. Let me do an alert test real quick. I'll show you this. Watch this. Yep, it has a vibrator, which is kind of useless in my opinion. I mean, it's a good little pocket radio, but obviously they shouldn't have made...
That's exactly what it's for. If you get an alert while it's in your pocket, then...
That's true.
You'll find out very quickly that you got an alert.
But I feel like tone is way better than vibrator. Like, the alert tone is already loud enough on this. You do not need the vibrator. Anyways, honestly, with them having a pocket radio in mind, they should have made the antenna a lot more durable. Like, these are, whenever, like, see, for example, you want to put this in your pocket, right? Well, when you're going to go take it out of your pocket, the antenna is going to slide along the top of your pocket, and that's what's going to make the antenna go flying. This happened on one of my old HHs I no longer own. So, that's exactly why probably 99% of these don't have an antenna cap. Otherwise, they're okay. They tend to work even if they get a little scuffed. So, they're still okay, and they're very rare. Right here is my Radio Shack 12-255.
Highs in the upper 40s.
This has got to have probably one of my favorite displays of any Radio Shack radio I've ever seen. I love this display look with the temperatures at the bottom, the indoor and outdoor, and the lights at the bottom and the button cover to cover up the buttons to make it look nice and sleek. Very nice look. I love it. And the temperature sensor, by the way, is not outside because I don't have a spot for it outside. So it's just on the other side of my room. But yeah, it's still a very nice radio. They are very hard to find though. So good luck trying to find one of them. But hey, if you can, go for it. They're great radios. Anyways, here's my 100s. So we have a holy grail right here. We have my Midland WR100 version 1 black and silver. That's right.
1 foot at 5 seconds.
A black and silver. Didn't think I'd get one of these, but thanks to my buddy F5 Tornado Gray for trading a couple of my radios for this because never thought I'd ever have a chance to have a black and silver. It's probably one of my favorite looking radios. It just looks so cool. The reception is not the best though. Thankfully, I do live close to my transmitter, so it's okay.
Becoming west.
But it does not like to activate. It just does not want to. It does, but not often. But yeah, definitely a holy grail for any collection. So, yeah. Right here, we have my Midland WR100 version 2.
Hours after midnight. Thursday.
This one works pretty good. I got this also from my friend Faraday 1056. Thank you to him for that. Very nice radio. This one works a lot better than the version 1 because this one is a late version 2 and has a bigger antenna. And then right here, we have a KSN engraved version 2 WR100.
25 knots. Diminishing.
This one is a 2004 model. This one's a 2003 model. The KSN is just, basically KSN is actually KSNW. It is a TV station that is exclusive to Kansas, and they went ahead and I guess engraved some WR100s. And this actually did come from Kansas, by the way.
And a couple WR601s apparently.
Yeah, there are apparently other radios they engraved, but this one is probably the most known KSN engraved radio. So you have pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. Also, I have another WR100, but it's over here, so later. Anyways, right here we have my WX150s. So right here is my high-pitched first alert WX150. These are second header. And by the way, if you want to tell from the outside if it's a high pitch or not, Basically, if the antenna is mounted on the top of the radio, it's a high pitch. If it's mounted on the side, it's a regular pitch. Speaking of, here's my regular First Alert WX150. So this is what the regular one sounds like. A little slower sounding too. Anyways, here we have some Radio Shack handhelds. So right here is my Radio Shack 12-259.
23 p.m.
This is a 2003 model, which means this is the statement version. Also got this from Faraday 1056. Thank you to him for that. And right here, definitely right here, my favorite Radio Shack handheld of all time, the Radio Shack 12-993.
Gusts up to 20 knots.
Finally can say I have one of these. I have been looking for a 993 for a very, very long time. The opportunity finally came when a 993 was listed as a 522, but it was actually a 993 with the box for a decent price, and I managed to snipe it. And I'm very glad I did, because this is probably the best handheld weather radio I have. Now, that's a long shot, but it has the best reception of them, great durability. It's just a really good weather radio all around, and I now use this as my main handheld. So making sure to take very good care of it, because, you know, I wanted one of these for a very, very long time. It's a great weather radio. Love this. Anyways, that part's done. So now to the top part of the main shelf, where we have the Radio Shack 12-519. This is a first header one. There are third header versions. I know Putnam has a third header version. So there's your alert test, basically. Also, these are pretty nice. These actually have Skywarn, too. There's a Skywarn frequency. That's a ham radio frequency, I think, actually, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it does have Skywarn and all that, so very nice weather radio. Some of them can have speaker problems, but mine hasn't.
With gusts up to 20.
Mine sounds just fine, so, but I guess that is a risk if you do get them, because I've heard people's have pretty bad speakers. And right here is my Recom R500.
West winds 20 to 25 knots.
I got this for Christmas from my grandparents, who bought it for me, because, let's be real, I do not have $150 to buy this. Anyways, this thing is pretty cool.
The people that do.
Yeah, shout out, man. They're expensive. But they're expensive for a reason, and that being that they can monitor multiple channels at once. That's the main aspect of this radio, is that it has multi-channel watch. Let me find the setting. Look at that, multi-channel watch. I have it monitoring 4 channels, even though I never typically get them. So it's just going to be a matter of if there's any tropo in the area and if they can just pick up. That's basically what it is. I'm probably the customer that needs this the least, but if I ever moved one day or something, hey, it would be really useful. So it's good to have either way. Right here we have my EAR10s. So right here is my regular not First Alert, AlertWorks EAR10.
To 35 knots.
This one's pretty loud. I got this from Kev_EAS, so thank you to him for that. Right here, we got my AlertWorks EAR10WH, the white EAR10. This is my first EAR10 that I got for Christmas of 2020. It's definitely the loudest of my EAR10s, too. That thing's loud. I also use this as my alarm clock, because these things will wake you up. Boy, they do. Just try it out one morning. Right here, we have the First Alert WX167.
Southwest winds 20 to 30 knots.
This thing is...
Go, no, babies.
He glazes this radio, by the way.
Yep.
Well, this thing I've had for a very long time, since 2021, as I've had this radio. And it's been working pretty good since I've had it. It's got some pretty cool features. Mainly that it will scroll the counties across the screen when it gets an alert. It shows you the counties. That's a really cool feature that not a lot of radios have. I would really love to get the AM/FM version of this one day, the 268. I don't have one yet, but yeah, the 167 is a very cool radio. I can actually do an alert test here real quick. So there you go. And then here we have my Eton Zone Guard. Right here, my regular one that I've had for a long time.
Temperature was 43 degrees. The dew point was 39.
I think I got this around the end of 2020. And then right here we have my Eton Zone Guard Plus.
0.03 inches and falling.
Here's a scratcher test. Yeah, the Zone Guard Pluses are kind of interesting. They have these little wireless alert modules, which is really cool. Very nice because you can basically have them a ways away from the radio, and if there's an alert, they will go off, which is nice. Very nice feature. And right here we have probably one of the rarest radios in my collection. The First Alert WX37. This radio might look familiar to you because it's the more known version is the WX39. Whoa, nice phone camera making the display look weird. It's basically a WX39, but a little different. The text on the front's a little different, and it has a test switch. The 39 does not have a test switch. Those are really the only differences. I believe I am only one of 2 people known to own this radio. The other person that's known to own this radio is Mecklenburg County WX. It used to be Illinois Warntech, then Mecklenburg County WX. This means that both WX37s are located in the same state. So that's cool. Right here we have the Timex T463G. This thing is weird. The antenna is just a wire.
And now taking a look.
And it's getting very bad reception. It always does, but somehow it still manages to go off. We'll do the alert test. This is why people want this radio, is the siren. I want you to listen to this. This is what it sounds like.
Weather alert. Tune to your weather band station.
Yep, it talks. This is probably the only weather radio that talks as an alert tone. It's actually very loud, by the way. You can actually really hear these. They're 1050. Also, it has sleep sounds, which is actually kind of nice because you can actually use this to go to sleep. Yep, the Timex, the company known for making $1 million watches, decided to make a weather radio that talks. So cool, Timex. All right, that is everything on this shelf done. Can't believe it. We're 40 minutes into the video. Wow. All right, time to get into the new guy, the new shelf. Didn't think that this would happen, but somehow I managed to make it happen. So let's go. So let's start from the bottom, where we are now in my farm, aka the cow scanners. So we have.
I see what you did there.
All right, we're gonna start. We're gonna do them in numerical order. So we have the Uniden BC148 XLT.
Sunday, sunny.
This is the 1-character display version, is what people call it, but it's just the 148 XLT. Awesome radio, just like all the other cows. And then we have the Uniden BC148 XLT-1. The 148 XLT-1 is the 148 XLT, but it sounds a bit different, and it has a regular display instead of it just being 1 character. Also, this came from fellow Dallas County EAS, so thank you to him for that. And then we have the Uniden BC178 XLT. Yep, another cow. It's higher pitched than the 148s. And then we have the Uniden BC300A. This one is the oldest of them all. I found out when these came out. They came out in 1989. And this is also the rarest of them. These are actually very hard to find. There are 3 stars on the rarity chart. Believe it or not, somehow a cow made it to the chart. Here's the alert test on this one.
Then a chance of showers after midnight.
So that's pretty awesome. It's the lowest pitched cow. And then we have the big boy, the Uniden BC890 XLT. This thing is just a monster, by the way. Just look at this thing. It's a monster. This has got to be the loudest cow I have. I want you to listen to how deadly this thing sounds. That just sounds scary. I can imagine just someone buying this and using it as a weather alert radio in the 90s, and when this thing goes off, I bet it scared everyone in that house. Holy, this is louder than all the other ones, I can tell you that. So there you go, those are the cow scanners. Now moving on to the Pro scanners. So we have the Radio Shack Pro 163. Alert test time. So there you go. This is probably the, wait, is it getting reception? Hello?
The coastal waters forecast.
It's having reception issues. I'll have to fix that. But, yeah, this one has probably the most well-known alert tones. It's probably the most well-known Pro scanner. And then we have the Radio Shack Pro 197. This one is actually digital. It has digital phase 1 only. It does not have phase 2. I need a phase 2 scanner. This one's only phase 1. This one does not have an alert test like the analogs. Instead, we can do like a mini alert test. We can go in the menu. We can do this. Where's the alarm? Here we go. So there you go. Basically, these are not loud like the other ones, but it has voice. The other ones don't have voice. This one does. And when I have the broadcast volume up all the way, it blasts the 1050 hertz tone when the radios are going off. So that's why I absolutely love this scanner in the collection. I got it for my birthday, 2025. And then right here we have the Radio Shack Pro 2055. This is, it sounds just like a 163 and looks like a 163, but there's one less line of display, and the alert tones are reversed. Where's the alert test? Here we go. This one honestly, I like the sound of the reverse tones. Yeah, the 2055, pretty cool. Also, you have to hold WX to alert test it instead of enter like on the 163. And then here we have this set of scanners. The, I don't know what you want to call it. So we have the Radio Shack Pro 405 right here. So there you go, there's this one.
25 knots.
And then here we have the Whistler WS1025. This is the exact same tones as the Radio Shack one, the Whistler. And then we have the Greecom PSR 200. This is the special version, you could call it, or you could call it the first gen, or the version 1. Because this, believe it or not, is the original version of this scanner. I know a lot of you have probably seen this type of scanner, but this is the original version. It has blue buttons. It does not have a signal meter at the bottom where it says 7-channel standby. It does not have FM. So yeah, a couple different firmware changes to this one. And here we'll do the alert test on it. Very cool. Yeah, this is definitely one of the rarest scanners out there. Definitely the rarest scanner I have. Very cool. My only Greecom. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Love the Pro scanners. Anyways, moving on up here to this thing of radios up here. So, we have the Midland WR100 version 3.
What use? Friday night.
This is my only 100 with an advisory light and an alert test. Years and years ago, I had a couple version 5s and they all died, so rip. Right here, we have the Uniden WX500.
What use? Sunday night through Tuesday.
By the way,
I forget to think it works every once in a while.
it does not. It's never gone off for an alert, so that's great. Well, a real alert anyway. Never gone off. I can get it to go off when I self-activate, but it will not go off otherwise. So that's nice. It's basically nothing more than a showpiece. They are very, very rare. They're definitely valuable for sure, but they don't go off. They just suck at activating because there's something up with the way the tuner volume is. It's like not loud enough to detect the headers. It's something to do with that. So that's why they normally don't activate. Right here we have a radio I've been looking for a very, very long time. And thanks to Mecklenburg County WX, I now have one. It is the Maxon WX80.
Sunday night. Southwest winds 15 to 20 knots.
Very, very cool radio. We're going to do an alert test here. Let's do this. So there you go. Cool startup sound too. Very cool radio. I love this thing. I've been wanting one for a very long time. Also, you can adjust the tone volume. That's cool. Very interesting. And then right here we have the MG Kit MD319.
Northwest winds 20 to 25 knots.
These are, honestly, I know a lot of people like to trash talk these, but they're really not that bad, okay? These things actually have pretty good reception. They come with an alert light. I don't have it in service right now, but I used to. It comes with an alert light. There's a pretty cool alert tone here. Honestly, they're just cool radios. I mean, they look cool. They sound cool. I mean, you can disagree with that as much as you want, but that's my opinion. Oh, yeah, that was his first radio, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's cool. Right here, we have the Uniden BC370 CRS right here. This is a very cool radio.
Increasing to 20 to 20.
I remember wanting one of these very bad at one point because they can go off for AM/FM alerts, which is very nice. Not a lot of other radios can do that. The only other ones that can are the WX268 and the ASI, the refrigerator-looking thing, and then the HDR radios, but that's HD alert. That's not just normal alert. This one can just detect headers on basically any frequency. That's what's awesome about this. It's literally the all-hazard scanner. Very cool. I love it. And then right here we have my Radio Shack Pro 136.
39 p.m.
Let's do an alert test. So there you go. I had another Pro 136 at some point, but I gave that to Faraday 1056. Right here is my first alert SFA 1135. I got this one for Christmas. Alert test. Come on. The buttons are, these are very bad. Feels like a walkie-talkie. This thing is just 100% plastic. It's still a cool radio nonetheless, though. It's meant for people like me who have an obsession with weather radios. But as a portable radio itself, it's not, it's okay, but it's not the best. And then right here we have another one of my favorite Radio Shack weather radios, the Radio Shack 12-991.
Seconds. A chance of showers in the...
I really like this radio a lot because this radio has probably some of the best reception of any weather radio I've ever had. I actually use this as my main DXer when I'm DXing for other weather radio stations. It's a very good DXer. It's actually slightly better than my 993. And I know a lot of people call the 993 the best, but I'm going to give the edge to the 991. From personal experience, this one is the king of DXers of all my weather radios. But there's other good ones too. Of course, the 993, you've got 120 EZs. There's other good DXers, but this is the top one. And then right here we have my Redicus TR625.
Southwest winds...
These things are very, very weird. They're very loud though. Man, the speaker's just straight up popping when it goes off. Yeah, this thing is very weird. If you're a normal person, just don't get this. They kind of suck. Right here we have my Midland HH54 VP2 version 16. There you go, there's the alert test. I finally got a charging dock for an HH. I wanted one for a very long time, and there was a VP2 for only $30. A very, very good deal. Glad I got this. I had another one. It was just the HH without the dock. I sold that one. And then right here we have my Cobra CWR200, which has a dock. My first one did not have a dock, but I managed to get a second one, and this one does have a dock. It's actually a pretty nice little radio. And then right here we have the Eton Weather Tracker FR800.
Rain. Thursday.
It's an interesting radio. I like the look of it, but honestly, it's good, but there's better options. And then right here we have my ProMedica engraved AlertWorks EAR10. As you can see right there, another EAR10. That's my third one. I have 3 EAR10s. And then right here we have the Emerson Research CKW 2000 version 13. Sounds like the phone is ringing. The National Weather Service is calling. Call from the National Weather Service. Anyways, yeah, it has a problem where the display likes to give out. It's not doing it right now, but it has done it. Also, this is my second one. I don't have my first one anymore. That one is long gone. Anyways, moving on to up here. We got some good stuff up here. So we have one of my favorite Radio Shacks. Again, the Radio Shack 12-253.
5 to 9 feet.
Has some, the speaker does not sound the best, but has some speaker syndrome to it. But it's still a very cool radio. I love the display. It's got one of my favorite displays. Very nice weather radio. Has very quiet button beeps. And the siren's actually pretty loud on it too. And then right here next to it, we have my Midland 74200, which is a version 8.
The 9 p.m. observations at Wilmington.
This thing's pretty nice, actually. They're all right. They sound pretty cool, that's for sure. As a basic weather radio, though, they get the job done, so I will give them that. And then right here, we have the Weatherman Alert 2628.
On the Carolinas, it was clear with a...
It's one of those type of radios. Yeah, these things are... not a lot of people have them, even though they're pretty much just common radios. They're okay. They look kind of cool. I will give them that. It even has a clock, which is not on. A lot of people assume probably that the clock is broken, but no, it's just powered by a button battery, like the Discovery Channel. And then right here we have the Weather Alert TA29. Landon's Techno Collectibles gave this to me, so thank you to him for that. This is my only 5-star weather radio.
At Wrightsville Beach, offshore buoy.
In case you don't know what that means that this is the only one of them known to exist. There are no other TA29s known to exist at the moment that are owned by enthusiasts. So that's pretty cool. Another one could obviously be found one day, but as of right now, this is the only one known. Here's the alert test on it. That just sounds interesting. Electro alert. Weather alert, storm alarm. Has a cool look to it, I will give it that. And the buttons are clicky. And then right here, we have one that I was looking for quite some time that I managed to get my hands on. The WeatherX RWB 8817DT. That is a very long model number, I know.
Partly sunny in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a chance of rain in the afternoon.
These are actually pretty good. They have pretty good reception. It looks like a submarine. This display just reminds me of a submarine. But they're very loud, too. Very cool siren, though. I love the siren on this. And then right here, we have the Safety Gear EQR 1002. A lot of you probably do not know what this radio is. It is a rebrand of a rebrand, pretty much, because you'll probably know the Vector TV radio. I no longer have it. But basically, the Vector radio with a big CRT on it. Basically, there's a company, I guess, called Rally Storm Alert or whatever, rebranded it and made one that has the same firmware and everything, just with no TV. That one looks gray, like a normal weather radio would. But this one is a rebrand of the Storm Rally. This is the Safety Gear, and it is yellow. So that's interesting.
Highs around 60.
There's only 2 of these known to exist. Mine, this used to be Landon's, thank you for that, of course, and JPEG, which is a Canadian EAS enthusiast. So that's pretty cool. Apparently it was founded at Goodwill in Missoula, Montana. Wow, cannot believe that. And right here we have my Vector VC438. This is I guess a rare model because it has the dock.
Issued at 9:39 p.m.
By the way, these things suck. I would not recommend these to anybody. They sound pretty cool, but be careful because these things are very, very fragile. They have very bad durability. I know Putnam County WX can probably attest to that one. But yeah, you might notice also it's on channel 6 because there's interference back here and it just gets worse reception on channel 7 for some reason. It's just better on channel 6, but it is going off, so that's good. Anyways, right here we have my Midland 74250 version 2. I don't have batteries right now, so I'm not going to power it on. I only really power it on during weather alerts. It's a nifty little radio. It's kind of cool, but the setup sucks. And the speakers are also known to have problems, so just keep that in mind if you're going to get one of them. Of course, they call this the banana, because it looks like a banana. And right here, we have the Radio Shack 12-254 right here. This is a cool little radio. Another one of my favorite Radio Shack portables. Here, let's do an alert test. We have to go into the test mode. There we go. And then just... there you go. Very cool little radio. I do wish it had a plug option. It's battery only, but it is first header, and they do sound pretty cool. And then we have right here my Radio Shack 21-1679. This is a weather alert radio with same that also has CB capabilities. Very cool radio. Has some of my favorite alert tones. It is a first header. It goes off at the same time as the scanners. So that's very cool. I really like these a lot. And I would recommend these in your collection. They'll sound awesome. And if you have CB truckers in your area, you can probably pick them up and talk to them. And then up here, we have my Eton SolarLink radios, I guess. Right here, we have the Eton SolarLink FR370 right here. Let's try to turn this on. What wrong button? There we go.
15 to 20 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet.
And then we have the Eton SolarLink FR370 LL Bean.
You are listening to NOAA Weather Radio, all hazards.
And this is the blue one. The LL Bean comes in a bunch of different colors, but I got a blue one because blue is my favorite color. And then right here we have the Eton SolarLink FR600. This is the red one. They come in a couple different colors. They're actually pretty hard to come by too. And these are second header, and they sound pretty cool on the second header. And these have shortwave, believe it or not. They have shortwave. Pretty cool radio. I would get one if you can find it. And then right here we have my Eton FRX5 BT. This is the FRX5, but it's the Bluetooth version. But, you know, it's still an FRX5. One difference is the original FRX5 has a red screen. This one has a green screen. And, yeah, it's a cool one. It's an Eton sounding radio, just like the rest of them. So, yeah. So, we have finally gotten through all the radios. We just hit the 1 hour mark of the video, so perfect way to end it, I guess. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. We have to go over the radios that we went through in 2025 we no longer have. But before we do that, let's go in this drawer real quick because there's one more radio lying around. My Radio Shack Pro 404. I do not use it because it is very quiet and I'm not using the antenna. The antenna had to go on another radio, so there's no antenna on it right now. I still have it though anyway because it is sentimental to me. Family member had it pretty much, so yeah, that's why I still have that. Anyways, let's go to the computer and see what we had. So here we are at the document. Radios that we went through in 2025 that I no longer have. So starting off was the WR100 version 4 ham edition, which means it had hazard alert monitor at the bottom text. I got rid of it because it wasn't going off most of the time. It had a lot of issues that way, so that's why I don't have that anymore. And then we had my other 120 DSP, which I gave to a friend. The WR400, which I overvolted, sadly. A HH54 VP version 16 earlier model because it had the Midland logo on the back, but it was still a version 16. I gave that to a friend of mine. The 2003 12261 was part of a trade for the black and silver. The Radio Shack 12262 2008 model obviously died. A Radio Shack 12521 2008, that was not... Actually, it was in my videos at one point. I tried to put it in service to see if it would work, but it never did, so I don't have that anymore. A Radio Shack 12-550, which was the black version of the 12260, that died after a week, and it's long gone now. The Uniden BC248 CLT, which was another cow I had, but however, I decided to take it out of service, and I'm selling it because it does not wind down, which is a little weird. Probably a stupid reason to get rid of it, but I just don't want it really anymore. The Emerson SmartSet WBS12, I just got rid of that because I didn't want it anymore. Just straight up gave it to a friend of mine because didn't really want it. I did not like it. The phone charger was cool, but everything else was just sucked. The Cobra CWR200, my first one, gave that to F5 in the black and silver trade. The Vector WC300 DSV, which was the Vector TV radio, I just didn't have space for it, honestly. That was a big reason why I got rid of that. An Eton FRX4, you probably saw that in some videos in the summer and the fall during some alerts. The FRX4 basically is a mini FRX5 pretty much, and it has 1050 activation instead of same activation. I thought it was cool at first because it looked like it matched the FRX5 and stuff, but I just decided to sell it to a friend that wanted it because, I'll be honest, I didn't really want it anymore. The Jensen SRWS 1000, that you probably saw in a lot of videos across the year. The SRWS 1000 is, it was annoying because there's no voice option. If you want it to go off with an alert tone, basically you have to turn it off yourself, which was very annoying, so I decided to get rid of it. And then finally, an Oregon Scientific WR196T, which was actually in the last collection video, but right after that collection video was filmed, I just decided to get rid of it because I had no use for it. It had very bad reception because they don't come with antennas. That was my only ever Oregon Scientific. I don't have any others. I don't really like Oregon Scientific radios, to be honest with y'all. So, yeah, those are all the radios that I went through in 2025 that I no longer have. All right, so that was the weather radio collection video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Wow, the collection's gotten big. I am surprised. I cannot wait to get alerts with this collection, and, like warnings and stuff, and just how loud it is going to be. It's just going to be so loud. It's going to be chaos. So get ready for storm season, everybody, even though it's still a couple months away. But maybe as you're watching this, it's already here. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm also joined by
Putnam County WX.
And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.